Hello there, welcome back to another review. So today we're going to be talking about a Castlevania game, not just any Castlevania game, oh no, today we're going to be talking about one that is lauded and praised by many for being like the, or at least one of the best entries in the series, and that is of course 1997's Symphony of the Night. Now this game is hugely interesting, the fact it came out when it did, much when the Sega Saturn and the PS1 were really pushing their 3D capabilities of what their systems can do. You have to remember at the time, most people were busy playing Wipeout, Tekken or Tomb Raider, so I think this is why initially back in the day the game was actually overlooked by a lot of people, and I think initially it didn't even sell that well. But you have to remember where at the time N64, PS1, Sega Saturn, everything was going 3D. It was about going 3D, it was about having that new 3D game. So along comes a game like this and you think, okay, what's so special? It's just another Castlevania game, it's another 2D platformer. We were playing games like that back on the Super Nintendo in the early 90s, so why on earth should I check this game out? Well, this was the thing with Castlevania, why this game here, why it didn't sell that well, is because visually, initially you think it's just another 2D platformer, but oh how wrong they were. Because what Symphony of the Night does is that it shows that there's still room for 2D platformers. This isn't just yes, it's a 2D platformer, but it's a 2D platformer done so superbly well that from start to finish it is an absolute masterpiece. Like, it really is an incredible game. The game is a sequel to Rondo of Blood and sees Alucard returning from Castlevania 3. What also makes the game extremely noteworthy is that it brings back that non-linear level design and favours more exploration, and was a real forerunner to what would become known as the Metroidvania subgenre. Now, I played this back in the day and I absolutely loved it. Like, I fell in love with this game. I remember just playing it non-stop, could not get enough of it, was absolutely addicted to it. The soundtrack kicks ass, the atmosphere is top notch, but I always remember like buying it, but it seemed like I beat it really quickly. Whether it's that was just my imagination, where I was just totally besotted and transfixed with this game, I don't know, but I always remember it's almost like I completed it in like a day. I probably didn't, it was probably like a few days or a week even, but it seemed like I completed it so quickly. But in overall, it's not an overly long game, but in many ways that works in its favour, as it makes the game not intimidating. Like, it was one of them games I would go through multiple times just seeing what else I could uncover. Was there something I missed? Where's that room that I need? I haven't been in that room yet, because when you look at the map you can see, and like where you have and haven't been, you think, okay, I haven't got to that room yet, how can I get to that room? And then it's almost like you were always going back to it to try and discover something else, something new. How do I get to this room? How do I get down to this level? How do I get to that bit? And that's what makes the game so fun. You can just lose yourself in this world. Because what makes the game interesting is that it has multiple endings. Now, I remember playing it the first time, if I can cast my mind back to 1997, I remember playing it the first time and I remember getting the bad ending, right? I remember getting the worst ending, playing it first, I'm thinking, oh my god, that was over really quickly. If you have played the game, you know, where I just defeated Richter and I was like, what, no Dracula then? Like, where's Dracula? What's the deal? I'm thinking that can't be it. There's got to be more like to the game than that. Then I discovered there's an inverted castle section, like defeating Richter with like holy glasses like equipped and things like that. All these things just added so much to making the game hugely replayable. That first time playing it was like, okay, I may have completed the game, but I haven't beaten it. You know, it was one of them games where yes, you can complete it, you can complete the game quite easily, but you know, before you've seen sort of the inverted castle bit and you've actually played the game properly, like, you haven't actually beaten it. You may have completed it, but you haven't beaten it. Like, I finished it, yeah, but I couldn't say I completed it, which spurred me on even more back in the day to start another playthrough right away, get it done. I've got to get that good, you know, I've got to get the true ending, and that's what makes this game so fun. So you top this off with the fact there was also RPG elements where you can level up Alucard, throwing in the ability to turn into a wolf, a bat, even mist, some great level design, a rocking soundtrack, and you have one hell of a solid game. There is so much going on with this game that it's, you know, I can't say enough praise about it. I'm sure many of you have played Symphony of the Night, but as I say, there's just, the music alone is worth checking this game out for, okay? Because this is just, it's easy to see. It's one of them games, even if you play it, even now, even to this day, if you play it, it's one of them games that it encompasses everything that makes Castlevania so awesome. It really does. It is really one of them type of games. What I loved about it was, like, this wasn't a difficult game. As I say, this was the kind of 2D hack and slash game. You will die, but the focus is more on exploration, and as you progress like through the game and level up, you find weapons, you get more HP, you feel pretty much a force to be reckoned with as the game goes on. But because of them RPG elements, because you are constantly getting stronger, because you are sort of leveling up, you're getting stronger as the game goes through, through, you do feel quite, as I say, you are a bit of a force like as the game progresses, and that just makes it a whole heap of fun. And I think if they had made the game too difficult, I think that fun factor might have been taken out of it. I think the fun factor might have just got lost there, because this is an extremely fun game, but because it isn't actually overly hard, it's one of them games that it is just really fun. It is just a really fun game. But I think if they'd put up the difficulty, if they put in it so where it is a bit too, like, it would get frustrating, and I think that would have like sort of alienated or lost a lot of gamers. Yes, it does take a few cues from Zelda and Metroid, but that, you know, that can be forgiven. But this wasn't sort of an intimidating game. It's odd to say, but it's one of them games I think most people knew it was a classic, or at least going to be a classic, as soon as it was released. I know it didn't sell well, I know it was overlooked by a lot of gamers, but those that did play it and those that were playing it saw that first weekend or that first month of release, I think even then people knew, gamers knew, this is, if you were a Castlevania fan especially, this was gonna be a classic game. Like, this isn't just a 2D game, okay, this is one of the best of all time, and I think along with like Metal Gear Solid, I think Castlevania Symphony of the Night is regarded to be one of the best PlayStation games of all time, and rightly so, because it definitely does deserve that spot. The plot of the game just basically has Dracula's castle reappearing, Richard Belmont going missing as you as Alucard go to do battle and don't like to destroy the castle. Gone is the whip, and now the focus is on swords, but loads of things you can pick up like potions, holy water, axes, even boomerangs and TNT, etc. My advice, if you are playing this for the first time, just don't worry about what ending you get. Just sit back and enjoy one of the best 2D games you will ever face. Just take it all in, play it loud as well. I went through it again recently, and so nostalgic seeing them FMV sequences that we used to get on the PlayStation. Even seeing that old memory card slot took me back. But if you are playing it for the first time, just go with it, just experience it. Even if you get the worst ending, it doesn't really matter. It'll spur you on to get the true ending and get to that inverted castle section. And that's another thing about this game, none of it feels cheap. Like, this is like an extremely polished game. It's an extremely well, like, just the production alone of the game makes it worth checking out. The save points are scattered all over the map as well, so if you are new playing this, don't be intimidated. There are save points to keep, to back you up. You can save often, which does come in very helpful. So whenever you boot the game up and you discover that new room or that new item, you feel like you have gone that one step closer. Like, you could be playing for half hour, but you've managed to get to that room that you've been trying to get to for ages, but you feel like you've progressed. Even just that small step like that, you think, oh, I wasn't there this morning, I've discovered something else. I've worked out how to get to this room, I've worked out how to get here, and that's where the fun is. It is just pure on exploration, it is pure on fun. You check the map, where you've been, where you haven't been, and you just constantly, at least I was back in the day, and even playing it again recently, you just can't put it down. Once you start boot this game up and you start playing it, you just cannot put it down. That's how addictive this game is. And in terms of enemies, we get it all here, right? We get the whole catalogue, we get the big wide range of Castlevania enemies here. We get floating skulls, even bigger floating skulls, frogs, bats, floating evil books, deadly mannequins, gorgon heads, werewolves, killer knights, skeletons, you name it. And that's just scratching the surface. But honestly, that moment when you first discover the inverted castle, honestly, it is hands down probably one of the greatest gaming moments I've ever experienced. It really is. I mean, I might be looking at it through rose tinted glasses, it might be nostalgia talking, but that moment when you discover the upside down castle is when the game really opens up and you realise, okay, now this is one badass game. And it was just one of them, oh hell yeah, now I get it. One of them moments, because I had no idea at the time, and I was just playing, I was going in blind, totally blind to the game. I had no idea this was sort of, because you get the bad ending and you think, okay, is that it? But then you keep, I know I've just said this, but you keep playing, then you realise, oh, okay. And then this whole thing happens and you realise, actually, there's more to it than what was I initially suspected. But you suddenly become aware, if you weren't already, why the game is amazing. And it's wonderfully designed. It is so well designed. And as I say, none of it's cheap. It feels polished. The production values are high. The gameplay is solid. The music is killer. And there's just, like I say, Symphony of the Night, if you haven't played it, even if you're not a Castlevania fan rather, you really owe it to yourself to go and check this one out. The pacing of the game works so well as well. The level design is great, it handles beautifully, and yes, as I keep saying, like I just mentioned, the music just enhances everything, which is exactly what a great soundtrack to a video game should do. Even if you aren't a Castlevania fan, as I mentioned, you owe it to yourself to check this one out. And Castlevania Symphony of the Night is a prime example. Like, sometimes games, they get all the praise, they get all the accolades, they get this reputation as being like, you know, really like one of the best games of all time. You've got, you know, one is, you know, they get all the hype and the praise, you know, they do, sometimes for a reason, right? There's games that do get all the hype and the praise for a reason, and Castlevania Symphony of the Night is a prime example of a game that deserves every single one of them things. So if you've never played it before, what are you waiting for? Go and check out Symphony of the Night. Like I mentioned, even if you're not a Castlevania like fan, just go and check it out. Just give it a go, turn it up really loud, get stuck in, and just have a damn good time. So thank you very much indeed for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you again soon.
Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory.